Josh. It is... No, it is Friday. It is January 12th. Um, this is weird. I'm like looking not at the camera. We go this way, we go this way. There we go, kind of. So, we have a 5-game slate tonight. This is gonna bug. Huh? You want your Band-Aids? I don't have my laptop in front of me, so I did write some notes, so I'm gonna go game by game, but I don't have much pricing in front of me, so bear with me. But I have thoughts on all the games. So, first game of the night, we have Vancouver Canucks traveling to Columbus to face the Blue Jackets. It's going to be Sergei Bobrovsky, more than likely, against Jacob Markstrom. I do have the goalie prices for DraftKings. Bob is the most expensive goalie on the board at $8,400. Markstrom is $7,000. I think this is a really good spot for Columbus 1 tonight. Dubois, Panarin, Anderson. I think this is a nice spot for them. I'm not a huge fan of using Markstrom on the road, so I think definitely can go to Columbus tonight. I don't have the prices in front of me on Werenski and Jones, but I think Werenski is a little bit better play. I think, or using both. That's something I like to do with Columbus. Use both D-men with that top line. I think that is the power play one. I think you can do that. I know their power play isn't that great this year, but they are starting to come to life a little bit. I think this is a decent spot for Bob as well, but at 8,400, I don't know if I want to spend that in GPPs. I know if there's a couple spots where salary really isn't an issue, but I don't know if I want to go 8,400. I think Bob is a really good cash play tonight, but if he doesn't get a shutout, I don't think he's worth the price in GPPs. Certainly possible he can get a shutout, but not too much interest in the Vancouver side. I mean, Brock Besser is just an animal. I think if you want to use him as a one-off, okay. You want to use him and Edler, I think that's okay. Other than that, not too high on Vancouver tonight from a GPP standpoint or cash. I mean, Besser makes sense if you want to plug him in. He is getting up there in price, but my preferred play obviously in this game would be Columbus 1. We are still here. We're going to be here for a little while longer, at least another 4 days, but we're trending in the right direction, hopefully. Been here since New Year's Eve. Pretty tired, but we're hanging in there. Thank you. So, if you're fading Columbus tonight and you want to take a flyer on Markstrom, I think it's a little risky. I mean, the cheaper goalies are risky tonight, I think. If I'm going to spend down a goalie, I think I prefer Reimer to Markstrom. But if you're using Canucks, and you want to correlate, I think it's okay to use Markstrom again. I'm not going to plug him in as a solo goalie tonight. If it's Korpisalo, I think you can use him as well. I think he's 8,200 on DraftKings. It would be more of a cash thing for me. I think you can use him or Talbot in cash. They're completely different prices. I'm not sure what the prices are on FanDuel if you're playing on FanDuel, but I would imagine they're both cheap on FanDuel, and I would probably go Korpisalo if it's FanDuel. If it's DraftKings with the price disparity, I'd probably go Reimer, depending on your lineup build. But yeah, let's move on to the second game. Or yeah, I'd probably go Corpusalo. I think it's a better matchup. But I mean, Calgary is on a back-to-back, so I mean, I understand the Reimer play as well. I like Reimer tonight anyway. So let's get to that game. Calgary Flames traveling to Florida to face the Panthers. It's going to be Rittich against Reimer. Um, Calgary's on a back-to-back. I think it's probably going to be popular play. I don't really have a good handle on the chalk. I've been a little bit busy today for obvious reasons. But I do like the top line. Alexander Barkov, Jonathan Huberdeau, Evgeny Dadonov. The, yeah, but I want to use them. Is that a rhyme or reason? That's a nice pun you had there. Um, I think the top line for Florida is one of my favorite plays, and I think it's gonna be very popular, along with I think Edmonton. But we'll get to that with Arizona coming off the bye week. Um, do you like using the Carolina, or excuse me, the Florida power play as well? If you want to go like Trocheck, Barkov, Huberdeau, Dadonov, and Yandel. I think it's Yandel on power play one. I think Calgary's penalty kill isn't very good. Rittich's numbers have been pretty good in 5 starts this season, but they are on a back-to-back. He is the backup goalie. He's young. It's a tough, even though there's going to be like 419 people in the crowd. I think this is a tough place to play. Yeah, Evgeny Dadonov is a free square. I mean, like he's 4,400. I think you just gotta. He's an auto lock in cash, and you just go from there. Um, so yeah, on the Calgary side, I think Barkov is going to be locked down on the Monahan line. So if I'm going to use Calgary, I'm going to use the second line. Um, I have moderate interest in that line. Their fancy numbers are always good. Their production has started to come around a little bit. They are cheap, so I don't mind that at all. Florida looks like, as I said earlier, Yandel's on power play one, so he makes sense with the Florida that you use. You want to use Ekblad. I think he's on power play two. Also, Matheson looks like he's on the top pair with Ekblad, but during the course of the past few games, it has been Yandel and Ekblad have gone out like 28% of the time, but Matheson at 3,300 is a viable punt for sure. So let's move on to the next game of the night. We have the Washington Capitals traveling to Carolina to face the Hurricanes. It's going to be Phil Grubauer at 8,100 against Cam Ham Ward at 6,900. Carolina's on a back-to-back. I know Grubauer. The past couple games he's played, he's been very good. But I do like this top line for Carolina tonight. Stahl, Aho, Lindholm. It's very cheap, allows you to get in whatever you want. You're just full of puns today. I think this is a good spot. They're gonna. I mean, none of the lines for Washington really scare me defensively. This is a home game for Carolina, so they can get last change. I think if you're using that line, you can go Justin Falk. Wow. Did you read that article on what's his face? William Karlsson? The guy said the 26% shooting percentage is sustainable because goalies don't like him and the empty net. He's scored on the empty net. If you want to leave off Stahl, okay, I think maybe you're going with the salary savings. You're going to go McDavid there or something like that. That article, I think, was serious too. They're like, because he scores on empty nets, his shooting percentage is sustainable. No. But anyway, I do like the top line for Carolina tonight. Aho's shooting percentage, sustainable or not. With Justin Falk, he's cheap at 4,200. You can go no Hannafin if you want. at 3,600. I think Trevor Van Riemsdyk with Brett Pesce out at 2,900. If you need a deep dive, is a decent punt under 3,000. On the Washington side, um, oh yeah, Chalka or I forget his name, like Chalk or something like that. He's young and he's supposedly smart, but that wasn't a very smart comment. Like, you don't trade for a player because he's due. Sean Avery's been due for 20 years. I don't know. They should have just kept Duclair and played him more. But, he requested a trade, so it is what it is. They got rid of Clendenning in the process, but I don't know. Yeah, Duclair got buried on the third line. That's like the worst line to be on for the Hawks, though. Q buries the third line. Hopefully he moves up to the second line. Um, or I think, he'd be good. He'd be good next to Taze. I think Taze could shelter him defensively because he's bad defensively. Um, there's one way to find out. Watch the game tonight. Anyway, for the Washington side, hopefully he does take Hartman's spot. But yeah, for hold on, I think that game is next. Yeah, let me just talk about Washington real quick. So I'm not huge. Like, one of the things I like to do is attack Cam Ward, but I'm not super interested in using any of the lines tonight. Really, I want to use John Carlson. I know he's overpriced, but I think this is a really good matchup for him. Or if you want to use like a power play mini with Carlson, Ovi, and Backstrom, I think that's fine. Excuse me. Grubauer at 8,100. I think he's been playing well, but that's definitely GPP only. Cam Ward at 6,900. Yeah, it was a dumb statement, but it is what it is. Cam Ward at 6,900. I'm sure he's gonna have some ownership. I just can't play Cam Ward. I'd be going off brand if I did that. So I gotta stay on brand. Maybe he's due for a little bit of positive regression, maybe because he'll be in the lineup consistently, but not like, oh, well, he's due because his shooting percentage sucks. Like, put him on the ice, then you'll see what happens. Give him consistent playing time, have consistent lines, and maybe his stats will even out. It's Ward tonight. He is confirmed. So let's move on to that Chicago game. The Winnipeg Jets are traveling to Chicago to face the Hawks. It's going to be Connor Hellebuck, 8,100, against Jeff Glass, 7,100. This is interesting because I think more people are going to be on the Winnipeg side of this game because they know it's Jeff Glass. They know that Chicago isn't very good defensively. I think this might be a popular game all around. I think Winnipeg 1's in play, Winnipeg 2's in play, Chicago 1's in play, and Chicago 2's in play. You're going to give me all those lines at equal ownership, I'd probably go Winnipeg 1, Chicago 2, Chicago 1, Winnipeg 2. But if more people are going to be on the if more people are going to be on the Winnipeg side, I think when push comes to shove, I'm going to go Chicago 2, just because you get Patty Kane you also get his power play time, and Winnipeg's penalty kill is atrocious. I think, Chicago 2 is my preferred play here, then Chicago 1. I like both lines. I want to get as much, the game's in Chicago, so I would imagine they're going to get Taze out against Wheeler. Just put it down. I'll watch it in a second. So, in that case, I'll probably want Chicago 2 as well. Rest of the season, Dubois or Connor? No hits, penalty minutes, shots on goal. Probably Connor. Yeah. So Chicago 2 is my favorite line from this game. Um, yeah, Taze is going to be bogged down with them. Although, you know, I've argued against this before when using Winnipeg 1. Their possession numbers aren't very good. So, Taze can, that line can create some chances, but I want Patty Kane in this game. He's the best player on the team, gets power play time. Um, Oesterle, he's getting up there in price, but I think, he's definitely viable. I prefer to use him than Keith just because of the power play time. If you want to use Forsling or Ruda as a punt, that's fine. I mean, defensively, they're a train wreck and a half, but that doesn't really matter for DFS. Um, so, um, yeah, I always used him when he was on Edmonton, like 2,700. He was an awesome punt because he only played like once a week, but he's a good player. Yeah. Um, I kind of like that they're moving quick with the price though, because even at 4,600, I'd play him. I think a lot of people are going to be like, he's pricey now. I don't want to use him. I'd use him. I'd use him at 5,500 if he keeps producing like he does. So, um, all right. I'm sorry, but I gotta get off. Um, Missed the last game. I'll put some notes out on Twitter about the last game, but I gotta run real quick. Maybe I'll pop back on Periscope real quick, but I gotta do a couple things with Avery, so I will talk to you guys later.